Hey there, everyone, and welcome. Today we are here for Vietnamese coffee culture with our host Roda. She is a local chef who's done a lot of cuisine corners. If you've been here for any of our online classes or our in-person classes, she's taught so many really cool ones. I definitely recommend checking them all out if you can on a YouTube page, on the OCLS Videos YouTube page. You can check out all of Ha's previous videos. She's done rainbow seafood stir fry, this fantastic uh, instant pot Vietnamese food that was like a chicken porridge. It was excellent. I've made it a few times since. And we've also had her for a ton of our classes in person as well. She's taught everything from summer rolls, spring rolls, to classes about Vietnamese culture. And tonight she is here for Vietnamese Egg Coffee. So without any further ado, I will bring on and see how she's doing today. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
Oh, welcome back. It's been a little bit since we've had you in here, so I'm happy to have you back.
Thanks, Josh. I'm excited. This
Yes.
is such a cool time, and especially at the holiday, as you can see. Ta-da! Um, so I'm ready for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so today, did you mention about the what we're gonna have, or we're gonna make the egg coffee?
I talked about it a little bit, yes, but I think you'll have a much better idea of what we're doing today because I've
Okay.
seen it, I've seen the dish happening, and so I'm ready to hear about it. So
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
leave it up to you. And folks, if you have any questions during the event, please post those in the comments either on YouTube or Facebook. We see them all. And then when we have a little bit of time, Ha and I will come back and we'll talk about all the questions that you asked. So, without any further ado, I'll leave it up to you. Do you want your PowerPoint up on the stream first?
Yeah, so that
All
would be
right.
a great timeline so I can show some visual stuff too.
Very cool. I'll bring that up and yeah, and I'll pull myself off. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Thanks, Josh. Ooh. Okay, so here we go. All right. So as you can see the picture on the slide right there, that is the egg coffee. Okay, so I put together a small slide so that way we can actually have a timeline so we know where we're going. So here we go. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I want to do a quick summary so you know what to expect. A little intro about myself, a history of coffee in Vietnam, a little history on egg coffee, so you know a little bit more of the culture of coffee in Vietnam, and then we'll make the egg coffee. Okay, so in the process of making the coffee, we're going to show you how to pasteurize the eggs and do the drip coffee at the same time. And if we have time within an hour, we'll try to push in and show you how to make the boba. Okay, so here we go. Again, my name is Roda. Josh did an excellent job sharing information about me. Thanks, Josh. So I've been doing demonstrations at the library at OCLS since 2009. Okay, so it's like if we do the subtraction, 2020, oh my goodness, 11 years to now. So, but I've been doing demonstrations ever since in LA, 2005. That's where we moved from. And that's when I first published my cookbook, a Vietnamese cookbook. So I published a Vietnamese cookbook. And I call myself Pho Queen. And so there we are. So well, we're going to go straight into the Vietnamese coffee. And what we do is in Vietnam in 1857, by a French Catholic priest, introduced Coffea arabica tree to central Vietnam. And because Vietnam is such a fertile place that it grow and grow and grow rapidly over time. So it did a really, it just harvests. And then so central Vietnam becomes a stomping ground for coffee. And now it's becoming a strong exporter of coffee. So today it is known as the second largest coffee in the world producer next to Brazil. And the coffee variations, for those of you who are familiar with coffee and the coffee beans and the name, I just put that in there. I'm not, I don't know much about coffee in terms of names wise. So you recognize that 100% of the Arabicas is from Vietnam, and the Robusta and Excelsa or Shari or Liberica or Catamore and others. So they produce a lot of those different varieties in Vietnam. So a little bit tidbit, kind of fun fact, the legend of the civet coffee. Anybody familiar with the civet cat? That is totally true. There is an Indonesian civet that eat the coffee cherries. And what happened is, like, I think the story goes a long time ago where the farmers were farming the coffee beans, and then these civet cats would come and they would eat all their cherries. And then so they were upset. And then they found they're trying to recoup all the beans back, and they found their poops. And their poop somehow processed in their tummy came out the coffee bean, and it was delicious. And it's really, really good. Well, it's mostly delicious. I don't know. I've never tasted before. So it's mostly known in the world for its delicious, subtle, lingering flavor of smoothness. I don't know what that means, but if you are a coffee connoisseur, you would know, right? I don't know. Don't look at me because I don't know if I'm a connoisseur. But it is also known, the civet coffee is also known as the Kopi Luwak. So in Vietnam, there is a place called Trung Nguyen. It's a name of a person who actually put together the coffee, particular coffee that to imitate the civet cat's coffee poop. and and instead of, because it's so expensive, because the civet coffee is very expensive because the harvesting and it just takes lots of labor and intense. It can cost from $180 to $600 a pound, and that's a lot of money, right? So Trung Nguyen had this researcher, and they went in and spent the time, and they formed a type of coffee beans that stimulate the kopi luwak or the civet coffee. So if you are a tourist and you happen to visit Vietnam, visit one of these Trung Nguyen's coffee house, and they will have these coffee. It's the name of the coffee is called Legend D coffee, and then taste it and see what you think. And they also do have the civet coffee too. There are different, special coffee houses that you see will have only the different variety of the kopi luwak, the civet cat coffee, and it's very, very popular in Vietnam coffee. So a quick history of the egg coffee. And what is the egg coffee, right? It is what it sounds, egg in the coffee. So in Hanoi in 1946, the creator, the person who actually invented this drink, his name is Nguyen Văn Giang. And during that time, French was dominating over the area. So there's a huge French influence in the northern and southern, and especially in Hanoi. There is a hotel called Sofitel Legend Metropole Hotel. And during that time, well, Vietnam in general do not have milk, a lot of milk. So fresh milk are usually by the French. And so we in Vietnamese would have a lot of using condensed milk. So the condensed milk is our form of milk, since the refrigeration was rare back then, and we can't store it. Whereas condensed milk, you can store condensed milk much easier. And so it was a shortage of milk. So he came up with an idea. Why don't we substitute it in such a way that will complement, for this hotel? So he's bartending at that place, and he created this drink, and it was so popular that everybody loved it. So he decided to open up his own cafe, and it became Cafe Yang, and that is still in Hanoi today. So what you see here is a picture of the coffee shop, and there's lots of them all over the place. So there are two types. You're either love coffee, that is more like the up-to-date international kind of Frenchish thing because the coffee. And or you're the traditional, which is then tea. So there's also have tea houses as well. So coffee and tea are both two different things, but they're very popular in Vietnam. And as you can see, people hang out there and they do, they just hang out with friends and family and they meet each other at a coffee house or a tea shop. So, and this is a picture of Ho Chi Minh City. Okay, so the coffee ingredients, um, as you know, is the Jung that I just mentioned is one of the coffee, and the most popular is also coffee called coffee du monde. It is New Orleans. It comes from New Orleans, and those are the most common popular coffee that Vietnamese use. Of course, there's others too, but those are the two most common that you would see. We'll use condensed milk, and we have all the ingredients here that you can see. Condensed milk, and we have, let's see, sugar. It's optional. I didn't include sugar today because, I think the condensed milk is pretty sweet already. So I'm going to do it based on my taste. A little less sugary. And also vanilla as well. And that's optional if you want the vanilla flavor, and also nutmeg or cinnamon. Ooh, that's what I forgot to add to my list here on the display. But that is very optional as well, just for pretty purposes. And you can see here the this I lost one side of my thing, it fell out. But this is the Vietnamese drip coffee. You turn, there is a little insert, okay, and then you turn that and you put the coffee into there, okay, and we'll do all that. So, an egg yolk, of course, and I have the eggs, and I'll show you how I will separate the eggs and everything. And we're gonna go. Are we ready to make the coffee? All right, here we go. So, pasteurizing is one thing if you are interested in because of salmonella, right? Some people do not like to have it raw, but we can solve that problem by bringing the temperature of 140 degrees. Let me see. I'm going to show you what I'm doing so that you can see. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to use this to view. Okay, so Josh, I'm going to share. Can you see okay there? Okay, see the flame? I'm going to turn that down and put it really, really low. Okay, as low as I can. And right now, because I don't want it to boil, okay? I want the flame to get the temperature. I'm turning on my little, that's my little thermometer. Beeping. I'm going to put this back. Let me see. Where should I put it? Right here? What's the best place? Right here. Okay. So I'm going to check the temperature right now to see where it's at. My temperature is actually let me see. You can see this. Reflection, 131. So we want it up to 140. Okay. It's slowly climbing up. Okay. So that coming, you don't want to be higher than 140, too high. We want to pasteurize it at 140, so that way it kills the germs, but it won't cook the egg, okay? We don't want the eggs to be cooked. We want it still wet and raw inside. So that's the purpose of that. Okay, so my temperature is slowly rising. Right now we're at 137. So while it's going, and also what I did is I put the eggs outside in room temperature. Take it out from your refrigerator into room temperature and put it really gently into the. Okay, I'm going to show it to you in a little bit here. We don't want it totally cold into the hot water because you're going to crack. It's going to crack the eggs. You don't want the eggs to crack. Okay, so that's what I did right here. And the temperature right now is at 139. Can you see that? So once it's established 140, then I'm going to time it for 5 minutes. Okay, and then I'll put my low fire. See the fire? Uh-oh, I think I got cut out. So my camera got cut out. Here we go. I'm going to try to get in. But my fire is really low. Okay, can you hear? Everything's good? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, good. Sorry about that. It died and it kind of kicked me out. I wanted to show you the flame again so you can see. And we're going to put the timer for, can you see the flame?
Yeah, we can see it there. Oh, it's barely seeing it, which I think is the point.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's very low. So that way it established the temperature of 140. And I wanted to let me turn on my timer for 5 minutes.
Okay. And here, I'll leave you to it. Sorry, I just kind of came in there for a second.
Okay. No, this is perfect. Thank you so much for the rest
No
of it,
worries.
guys. Okay. All right. So now it's at 5 minutes. So I'm established at 140. So that is when to pasteurize it. So while that is being pasteurized, let me go ahead and get the coffee going. Okay. So let's see. Can you get to the camera where get to the big, yeah. So here we go. I'll put the coffee into the little filter. So it depends on you, on how much coffee you would like, okay? If you like strong coffee, you can use 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. But if you like less strong, then 1 tablespoon. So I'm putting it, let me see, can you see the coffee? Right here. So I want to make sure to spread it out. And I kind of shake it a little bit to make sure the coffee is spread out evenly in the inside of the coffee filter. That's what it's called. Okay. And then I put the insert in. And I turn it as tight as I can with my hand. Don't do it too tight. And then I rotate back 1 circle left. This will help it drip. The tighter you have it, the slower the drip. And if you do it too slow, it will take really long time. And it won't be as good. So you want it the perfect amount to drip, not too fast, but you don't want to drip too slow either. Okay, so the way to do it is tighten it by as tight as you can, first with your hands, and then turn it counterclockwise to loosen it by 1 loop. Okay, and then that's when you. So I'm prepping the coffee there, and the coffee that I'm using is Trung Nguyen. And you can get this coffee at an Asian store, or you can get Cafe du Monde too at an Asian store. Either one, okay? So when we are doing that, and I'm turning on my water to boil my water right here to make sure it's being boiled. Okay, so while we're waiting all that to be set up, is there any questions that anyone has, or do you want to? I think my water's about to boil. Can you hear the boiling water?
Yeah, not quite yet. We'll get there though. That's a cool coffee pot. I really like
Yeah,
the lights.
it's really cool. What I really like about it is it boils really fast.
Oh,
It boils much faster than your normal. We have 1 minute left with the egg. Your normal. If you boil water in a pot,
right.
it takes like less than 5 minutes to boil your water.
Oh, cool.
That's how
Okay,
fast it is. It's really, really fast.
awesome.
So, and I have a lot of water in there. So it's
Yeah.
almost boiled as soon as my thing is boiled.
Yeah.
By the time my eggs are good, it'll be all boiled.
I have a question from Allison. I'm not sure. They're asking if Vietnamese coffee is more caffeinated than other coffees. She hears people talking about how strong it is.
How strong the coffee? Well, the way that we're making right now, the Vietnamese coffee, I don't know in terms of caffeine wise, but this it is stronger. It's like an espresso, an espresso. And it depends on how much coffee you put in, right, with the water versus if you put 2 tablespoons, it's going to be more caffeine versus the same amount of water. And if you put 3 tablespoons, that's even more so. So it depends on how strong you like it to be, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, it does. It looks very similar to well, kind of similar to like the stovetop pots that you get that like Cuban coffee, like where it's just a little bit and you have the puck almost like the thin layer of coffee that you're pushing stuff through. So
Right,
probably
exactly.
has
Yeah.
making little by little.
Yeah.
Oh,
We make it little by little. So I don't know if you hear the sound of the sound of the beep at 5 minutes up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to get a little bit of water and I'm using kind of lukewarm water so I can put my eggs in and let it sit in the bowl of water for a second before I can start on breaking the eggs and separate the eggs, okay? Okay, so I'm putting, can you see in the camera? I'm putting the eggs in there, just the cold water. And my water's boiling. So now, what I could do is I can start the dripping of the coffee. Okay, so first of all, see the coffee here? I'm going to pour only a little bit of coffee, hot water into the coffee. And that will bloom the coffee. You'll get the coffee to bloom inside. And I'm waiting for it to drip all the water to come down. And then I, again, will fill up the coffee all the way 3/4 of the way up. So now the water's drained with the amount of water that I put in there. So I'm going to put all the way up as high as I can, 3/4, not all the way filled, okay? And I'm gonna let it sit. Voila. So that's the drip coffee going, okay? So now we have this, I'm gonna wash the water. All right, So I got my bowl a little wet. I'm gonna dry it with my towel. I want to make sure to not add too much water into my egg. So now the eggs are ready. I'm going to see if you can see. I want to make sure you can see me do the egg. So when we extract the egg yolk, when the eggs are cold, it's easier to separate the egg yolk and the white. When it is warm, or it's less cold, it's not cold, it is a little harder because the egg yolk are more sensitive, so you can easily puncture it. So it takes a little bit of carefulness. You don't want to puncture it, and especially the eggshell. The shell of the eggs are very sharp, and you don't want to get the eggshell to poke a hole in that egg, in that yolk, because then it's gonna mix in with the white, and that's what you don't want, right? So there we go. Here's our egg one. Voila! Yay! That's one. And then here's the second one. What I do is I just kind of like hit on the side, and then I try to make it in the center, so that we can have half and half. It's not too big on one side, but you have to be very gentle. You don't want to break, especially I climb, so my fingers are strong, so I can crush the eggs without realizing I'm doing that. So your fingers could be very strong too. You can like crush the egg. So you have to be gentle with the eggshells, and especially when the eggs are not cold. You see that? There's several other ways of doing that, easier ways, but I enjoy doing this because I think it's fun. So, okay, so here we go. Second egg. I'm getting better at it because the first time when I did it, it falls off. So it takes practice. It's not like that you can do it the first time around. If you can, that's great because you're very gentle with your hands. So here's my second egg. Woo! There we go. 2 egg yolk. All right. So let me wipe my hand real fast. Okay. So now that we're done with that part, you can save the egg white, make omelets and stuff like that, put it in the refrigerator for your next use for other things. That is totally up to you. And I usually save them, and my family would have like some kind of omelets. And you can see the coffee is still dripping, which is great. And now we're going to add this right here. So if you like it sweet, you can do 2 tablespoons. If you don't like it too sweet, you can do 1 tablespoon. And I like 1 tablespoon, but since my daughter is going to share with me today, so she loves 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to do a little bit of compromise. Instead of full 2 tablespoons, I'm going to put like 1 and maybe 3/4. She wants some. She loves egg coffee. I've been making them, and she's like, "Oh, can you make me one too?" And she's like, "I need them tonight so I can study." Okay, so I'm gonna put, kind of like maybe half. So 1.5. So the more that you have, the sweeter it'll be. That's pretty much it. How sweet do you want your coffee? Okay. And the longest part is mixing this, which will take about 10 minutes for you to mix it to get it to the broth to get it to the way you like it to be. Well, I like to be to get the frothy kind of texture that it has. Now, if you want to add more sugar, or if you have a packet of vanilla sugar, you can use that. You can add, instead of vanilla sugar, you can do um, vanilla by itself and sugar by itself. So I just put a few drops. I don't have vanilla sugar. So, ooh, that's a lot. But it's okay too. It's just giving you the extra flavor and smell. And I don't want to put any more sugar. That's okay. So I'm going to plug in my hand mixer right here. Okay. And that's pretty much it. You mix for 10 minutes. So, and I put it on high. So we put a little timer, 8:12. So you can see right now it's pretty yellow. Okay. And you'll see by 5-6 minutes, it will become lighter in color. If you stop here, it is kind of liquidy, and because the liquidiness, when you put it into the coffee, it will go down instead of stay afloat. The goal is for having it staying afloat. Okay.
Oh. Hey, Ha. It was getting it's a little hard to hear you with the thing, which is it's fine because it's hard to hear with the
Okay.
blender on, but it's
Yes.
fine. If any, I can ask for some questions here for a sec, and we can maybe
Okay.
you can keep blending.
Okay.
Feel
Keep
free.
blending. All right.
Yeah, and
All right.
I can talk to the chat a little bit. It cuts out the mixer quite nicely though, so that's a good. But yeah,
Okay.
feel free. No worries.
Okay. Keep it going, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see this in its full glory. But if anyone has any questions for Ha, it might be a good time to just like kind of get those sorted out, and we can look at your questions and maybe ask her once the egg's fully blended. But it's looking really cool. I didn't know you could do that with the egg yolks. I've seen whipping with the egg whites before, but it must just it's cool how you can make almost like a whipped cream with it. Yeah. Anyone have any questions in the chat for this kind of Vietnamese coffee or anything in general? Can get to those. Does fun?
I don't know if you can see the yellow is actually getting lighter right now. It's going to get lighter. Right now, we're about 3-4 minutes, but
Okay.
it gets lighter and lighter. Can you tell
Yeah, you can see it changing a little bit. It does look a little bit paler, especially on this side, or the side closer to the camera. Yeah, Allison saying it's not a question, but it looks super creamy and yummy. So
Yeah, for
we've
sure.
already got some.
Come over. You want some?
Yeah. If you guys haven't been to our cuisine corners in person, we'll definitely have to have Ha back for this one because I really want this coffee. And with most of the dishes that she cooks, I've seen. I always really just want to eat some of them. It's looks quite delicious. Perfect. And thanks for scooting the camera over. It helps the light a little bit like that. But yeah, you can already start seeing little bits of like peaks happening. It looks almost like pudding at this point. I'm Really wanting to try it. um, but yeah, have you guys has anyone in chat ever used a Vietnamese like the coffee pot there? I've never used one of those. I've had Vietnamese coffee before, but only in like a restaurant or a place that serves it. But I've never actually used that machine myself. It looks pretty rad. Like it looks like you can make almost like a like she was saying, like an espresso texture there, or type. Um,
Can you see? Can you see now with the color changing?
Definitely, yeah. It looks much more pale now. Here, I might try to make it. I'm gonna actually make this screen the big one here. I think I can do that. Hold on one sec. Maybe we can.
How's the sound? Is it still loud? I'm moving the thing away from.
Here, let's try it. And try talking.
How about this? Can you hear better?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you here.
Okay. So
Yeah.
with the sound, I know it's sorry. I don't know how else to do it.
No, that's perfectly fine. It's
We
it's a
have
mixer.
like 2 more minutes. About
No problem.
2 more minutes to grind. But it takes time in order for it to be frothy. If you do
Absolutely.
it over 3-4 minutes, as you can see, you'll see it. It will like when I pour it on top of the coffee,
Yes.
it will actually stay on top. It doesn't sink down. But if
Nice.
you do it like for way less than a certain amount of time, it will start sinking down because of the weight.
Yeah.
But this is actually changing. The color is changing, and I can tell right now it actually gets really pale eventually.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. So
Yeah,
what I'm going to do also, okay, I'm going to turn it off for a second. But what I'm going to do is, because the coffee is finished dripping right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour, and this is a trick that you can do to keep your coffee warm, okay? I'm going to pour some water, hot water that I just boiled, into the cup. Into a bowl. Like this. Can you see that?
Nice. Yeah.
And then I put my coffee into there. And
cool.
Coffee warm.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
Cool.
So that way you'll have nice warm coffee on a cold day like today.
Yeah, keep it at temperature, and you don't have to water it down or anything. That's awesome.
No, that's just it. So hold on, I'm going to turn on my blender again, okay?
Perfect. Yeah, no worries. All right. And Allison has had Vietnamese coffee with condensed milk before, but she's never tried it with the egg yolk. And she says she's used once or twice with the Café du Monde, the other coffee that you mentioned. So we have someone with a little bit of experience in the video today.
That's great.
But yeah, I'm also looking forward to the egg yolk. That looks like it's going to be a pretty cool addition.
Yeah.
Extra creamy.
Well, this is kind of neat too, because I kind of like the chemistry behind it. How it, turns in front of you. It just takes time to do it. But before, when I first learned how to do this, I did only 1 or 2 minutes. I'm like, how come it's not yellow? It's so yellow. It's not white. And not realizing the longer you do it, it gets better and better in terms of lighter and lighter and fluffier. Same with egg whites.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure they're really beat to make sure that you get enough air in there. The last time I was making meringue, I used a hand mixer, not electronic, and I was trying to do it with a hand whisking, and I broke 2 whisks, and then had to go and then try to do the rest with a fork, and then it still wasn't very airy. So.
Oh my gosh, that is really hard.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was not the best. I had left my electric mixer. It was when I was moving, so my electric mixer was not with me, and never have I been more glad to have one after that, because it's really hard to do with a hand whisk. So if you do have an electric mixer, definitely put that to use here.
For sure. It's a little loud when we do stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it works really well.
Yeah, yeah, it would be like a 3-hour program if we did it with a hand with a hand whisk after taking breaks
Yeah.
for arm cramps. Like yeah, Allison was saying, you'll need some breaks for those arm cramps. And yeah, but uh, but yeah, it's starting to look good. It's starting to really look white here. Or almost white.
Yes. Isn't
Yeah,
it cool?
yeah,
I
it's
think it's
starting.
about time. It is good timing. I
Oh,
think
perfect.
it is probably a little less than 10 minutes because I stopped several times,
Hmm.
um, doing our mixing. So, but when you do it, you put it on top. It is really neat. Watch. I'll show you. So I'm turning on the stove right now to boil my water while we're doing all this at the same time so we can make our boba. Ooh,
Oh,
that's what I forgot to do. Can you get the boba? And let me see. I'm going to move this, and this is what the lid is for. So it doesn't drip. So you put it in there, kind of, like there, and you can see the coffee, right? So let me see. This is the best spot, and then let me get the spoon. Let me see how I can do it so that you can see best way, like this. There you go. You see it float right up? Oh, this is like goodness of stuff. I want to scrape every part of this into my cup. Okay. And if you want to, you can also lick this. This is really good. So, okay, so can you see from the top view? You can't see from the top, but you can see right here, right? See how it floated up on top? And there's a whole nut, it's really pretty nice and sour. Okay, and then with this, you can actually put boba into there and eat with boba, or just drink it. There are several ways you can drink this. You can drink it, like this, so that you can taste the flavor of the whipped egg and also the coffee, the sweetness and the bitterness, kind of like combined in that way. So you can go through the sweetness and down to the bitterness, right? Or you can mix it all up and have them all combined. But before I do that, I'm going to leave this in here to keep it warm. Okay, and we're going to continue to do the boba. So let me see. I have the. Can you help me find the? There we go. Okay, so this is what I purchased. Okay, it said ready in 5 minutes. There's smaller ones, and this is a bigger one. This is a 2.2 pounds. Okay, and so I have some leftover from my old thing. This is an even bigger bag. My daughter and I go through this whole big bag. And this is 6.6 pounds because last time they didn't have a smaller one. All they had was this. So we went and got this. And it also said, okay, you gotta see, ready in 5 minutes. Can you see that? Make sure to get that. Otherwise, if you get something else, it doesn't say ready in 5 minutes, it will take longer, 20 to 30 minutes or so. Okay? So you want to make sure you have that. And this one, this is a smaller version, and there's also even a smaller version than this, in a smaller bag. and it's in a Vietnamese grocery store. They'll have that as well. Okay. So my water's boiling. Let's see. I'm turning on. I don't have to be careful in this perspective right here. All right. So I'm boil. Once my water is boiled, what I do is I put down. I measure the amount that I want, and I use a little cup, 1/4 cup to 1/3 cup, depends on how much boba you would like. Okay, so I just put it in, and then since this is for just a small cup, you don't need that much. I mean, this is fine, like here. Okay, you can see. Yeah, you can see here. This is how much I'm going to put. So I'm going to put it into my thing. There you go. Let me see if I can show you my boiling pot. Okay. And then I set my timer for 5 minutes. Okay. So setting timer. Okay. So when it beeps, we know it's finished. We'll let it boil. So it continues. So what it does, it goes to the bottom right there. And then when it's cooked and boiled in 5 minutes, it will float up. I'll show that to you when it's 5 minutes up. Okay. So were there any questions, Josh, that we can cover while we're waiting for the boba to finish?
Yeah, we had everyone can hear me?
Yay!
All right, cool. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we had a little bit of stuff coming in. Some people talking about how much boba that 6 pounds is. That's
oh my god!
How long did you have that one for?
How long? It took us. How long did it take us? 6 months to eat.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds like it.
It took us a long time because at that time they didn't have the small one, so all they had was the big one. So I was like, okay, I'll just take the big one.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well. If you want boba, you want boba, and that's.
Yeah, I know, and it's not too expensive. I mean, it's like I don't remember how much it was. I don't think it breaks the bank. So
No.
see, this one right here is $7.
Oh wow.
For this.
Yeah, that's almost about the same price. A little bit more expensive than one single cup of boba, tea or coffee.
Yeah, and you make like months of this.
Yeah.
Now I think this one, it's like $12, $13, or $14.
Yeah, for 6 months of boba tea. That sounds like a pretty good deal.
And you can make, it's $16.
Okay, yeah. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, you can make tea, coffee. You can make whatever boba you like.
Yeah, throw it in anything.
Yeah, and this takes 5 minutes to make.
Yeah, you can have boba Pepsi.
I know. Yeah, the boba party. So can you see floating?
Yeah.
And it comes in different colors too. There's a bag that comes in rainbow color. You got all these, and this is just a traditional color.
Right.
So yeah, you can buy it at an Asian store, or you can buy it at a online, like Amazon has it.
Perfect.
But if you have access to the Asian store, one thing about this, so you know, because the egg is cold, and so now it's leaking through to the coffee.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that looks really neat. I've always loved like it's like the slow when you first pour the milk into your coffee or whatever, that the little swirl, but you get it nice and slow.
Yeah, it's so cool, isn't it? But yeah, so that are some of the secrets that I'm sharing with you guys tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah, Allison saying we have people thinking about crashing the boba economy in Orlando now that you can buy it for so cheap. It's gonna be, I'm gonna have to do the same. I think.
It's crazy, but the thing also though is that sometimes it just takes time to make, and you're at the place, so it's convenient. You're buying convenient.
Absolutely, and they also have, like, if you're looking, especially if you're looking for anything like flavored or anything like that, and it's
Yeah,
always, yeah, it's just the same reason why we, go to a coffee shop than go to a make coffee at home. It's definitely
exactly.
easier and cheaper, but it's sometimes just nice when you're outside. So
Yep,
yeah, keep
yep.
supporting your local boba shops, but also have some at home and just drink more of it. I
Yeah,
think that's what it's
exactly.
all
When you have
about.
a craving, right? When you
Yeah,
have the craving.
absolutely. Uh,
But they're coming out with different types of bobas now. So
oh,
this is
cool.
one of many, right? This is like the beginning of things. But they are coming out with like kind of like a jelly
Hmm.
boba.
Hmm.
Where are you familiar with the plant leaf that makes Vietnamese jello? Agar.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, they mix that so it has a kind of like a different jelly kind of flavor to it too.
Hmm.
So, and then they have also the boba that you eat and it pops in your mouth. It's not
Yes.
chewy. It pops in
Yeah.
your mouth. And so they're coming up with lots of different ones. And some of the coffee boba shop places, they actually make their own boba from
Hmm.
scratch.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
that's
okay, so that's my timer. I'm going to turn it off. Can you see it?
oh yeah.
Okay.
It's starting to
So,
float to the top.
yeah, it floats to the top. It's really easy. 5 minutes. Put the water to boil and then you put it in 5 minutes and you're done. Okay, so
Awesome.
the next thing we do is think of getting all this stuff out. I forgot all about it. Honey. You add a little honey to. I'm looking for my bag, and I'm looking for honey. I have a
Oh.
big honey because my family goes through the honey, and we have the Florida raw unfiltered honey, and we like that. So what I do is I get my little strainer, right? And let me see, how am I going to do this? I have to take you to the sink with me, you think?
That could work. Yeah,
All right, let me take you to the sink.
if it's not too dangerous. We don't want to have
I
any.
turned I turned off the stuff, and then let me see. So I'm gonna put the camera down so I can use my. Can you see okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now I should pour it through the strainer. I'll put it. So can you see the boba?
Uh, yeah. Oh, now we can. Yeah, if you can raise up a little bit. Nice.
Now, let me see. Let me bring it over here so you can see at the different angle
Oh,
camera.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Turn the camera here. I have too many cameras. Okay. So with that, I add a little bit of sugar. I mean, no sugar, honey. I'll use another spoon. Not too much. You don't want to add too much. And it depends also on um, on how much boba you have. You know, because I have just a small amount. So can you see my spoon?
Hmm.
Um, just a little bit, like here, right? Just to add so the boba will have a little bit of sweetness to it.
Smart.
And then I mix it up in my little strainer. Everybody now can make their own boba drink.
I know. I'll be going to iFresh tomorrow.
So now I'm putting this into my little coffee drink. That's pretty much it.
Oh
You
man,
can see it sinking.
I love that. They just disappear.
Yeah. Okay, so now do a little bit of a touch to at the end to make it blue with cinnamon or nutmeg to your cup.
Mm,
All right.
delicious.
So can I taste it? Let me see.
Yes. Oh man, and we all get to sit here in
Mm,
jealousy.
very coffee. It's so
Six,
good. It's
six,
sweet too, though. My
yeah.
daughter will love it because it's extra. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it up, okay? So
Okay.
you can see
Very nice.
how the color mixes.
I like it. We get the top view and the side view here.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
It is extremely satisfying to watch Gina. Especially once it like seeing the boba slip below the surface was a wonderful thing.
And actually, I'm bad. I saved my boba straws.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah,
when you eat your boba, you have to have boba straws, right?
for sure. Hmm.
So, so
There
it's
you
big
go.
enough, and so you
Yeah,
just drink it up.
the complete package.
Yeah, there we go.
Man, that was really fun. Thank you so much.
Oh, they're so good.
I will definitely be having to try that tomorrow. I
Mm,
think that's that's what I'll be doing.
yeah. So let me
Yes.
see if I have finished my process. If there's any questions,
Um.
5 minutes, and that there's a picture of that. There's a smaller one right there that
Here,
you
I'll
see.
add it to the stream so people can see what the bags look like. Oh, okay. Um. Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to make sure I can find that somewhere.
You can find that. It's the so you know a lot of people ask me where I go.
Hmm.
There are it's not uncommon now with the boba. So there's two that I find. One is Tiên Hưng,
Okay.
which is right next to the pho, not pho. What's that? The restaurant on 50 in the corner of 50 and
Mills.
Mills.
Is that
Yes.
An Hong or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tien. Anh Hồng. It's next to Anh Hồng.
Okay.
But the grocery store is called Tien Hung, Tienhung.
Okay.
And then there's another one that has a three Buddha
Yes.
statue.
Yeah.
After you go on 50,
Kind of
and it's
near that.
the Publix.
That like right near like Shine or Fern Creek.
Yeah.
Fern Creek and 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Near the furniture store.
Yes. Yes.
um.
It's called Foot Talk or Oriental Store or something like that. I forgot the name in English. But they have the boba too. You can find them there as well as the other place. Um, and then um, and you can find it on Amazon. So I
Okay.
have the recipe put together online. So if you want to look for the recipe, it's on tastyphoqueen.com with Vietnamese egg coffee recipe, like right there on the screen, so that they can see. And I'm also on Facebook. Remember to like the video, support the library, and
Of course. Yeah.
share, and all that good stuff.
Thank you so much, Ha, for the. But yes, I added your Facebook. That's a great place. I see you going live. Is it every Friday that you've been going live, or you've been going live a lot of Fridays?
Most Fridays
Yes.
on the day that I'm not being called or summoned to go interpreting at the courthouse or somewhere else. If I'm not busy doing my other work, then I would go live for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and those are really great, especially if you're looking for anything that's any anything about either Vietnamese culture or different dishes that you've tried at all the great restaurants around town. You can check them out there. And she goes live every Friday. I try to watch whenever I can. And yeah, they're great. So definitely to give that Facebook a like and check out your website as well.
Yes, please do. Thank you so much, Josh.
Of course, we love having you here, Ha, and I hope it won't be too long before you come back. Yeah. If you guys have any other questions in the chat, we'll hang out for another a little under a minute here. But thank you again so much about everything for everything tonight. I really can't wait to try that tomorrow. Like I said, not having to go into a place. I just have it here at home. So
Yeah.
it'll be really fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for dessert as well.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely, especially with the egg coffee and all the condensed milk. That's definitely more of a dessert thing. But yeah, that's a delicious one. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't want it too strong, just do 1 tablespoon of coffee instead of 2, or else you'll bounce off the wall.
Yes, no sleeping here. Well, thanks again for joining us tonight, Ha. We really appreciate it, and then yeah, everyone else, I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay safe, and yeah, have a good one. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Bye,
John.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be the first to find out when we have new fun and informative videos for you. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.